And for BYU, it has been a pretty consistent lineup for them as well. Across the front row right now, we see right there, Brielle Kemavor. Also with Alex Bauer, their setter. And Sully Davis, our aforementioned player to watch. That's the front row. In the back row, that's going to try and pass this first serve, Claire Little-Chambers, Ellie Mortensen, and their libero, Lulu Uluave. First serve is Emmy Bullis, one of the better setters in the Big West Conference, and that's a good first serve to get us underway in the first round in Galen Center, and BYU takes the first point.
And BYU has been really working up at that net, trying to get more and more blocks, and they've been efficient in it with the last few games we've seen.
Lulu Uluave. Libero to libero serve there as Charlotte Kelly gets popped up. First attempt for Sully Davis, and that's popped up as well. Annabelle Falcon, a southpaw right side hitter. Joust at the net, won by Cal Poly. Kendall Bashir shows the strength.
Yeah, Alex Bauer just not able to get underneath that one. Not something we've really seen from her. She's been so used to being that position for BYU, who's able to get underneath every single ball, the real engine of BYU's offense.
Speaking of an engine from that service line, Kendall Bashir misses though. Keep an eye on how great that serve can be as this match goes on. As a front row substitution, brings in Sophia Callahan.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I could feel the boom of that serve.
Alex Bauer. Been a great sophomore setter for BYU, though misses on that serve. And Cal Poly brings in their serving sub in Ella Scott.
Some back-to-back service errors there. Not exactly how you want to start off a match, but maybe some little jitters for this tournament going in. Better to get them out now than later.
And still just getting started at 2-2 in the first set. First match of the day in Los Angeles as BYU takes the side out.
I mean, that was just a crazy dive reach for the ball we saw from Bashir, trying to really throw everything she got to try and get that one in, but wasn't able to make it so.
Sully Davis, the Big 12 Freshman of the Year, with the serve and a good one, getting Cal Poly all out of system. Right side blocked back, a recycle opportunity for the Cougars. In the middle, it's Chloe Lelouge, our aforementioned player to watch, and you're seeing why.
I mean, Lelouge has been so strong in the beginning, so efficient, such a fast middle, and she's a really good terminal hitter with, as well as a top defensive presence as well.
Really interesting to talk to Caroline Walters, saying that they discovered how they can work Chloe in more and more when it was in the Big West tournament at the end of the season. She really emerged as their top offensive player. Couldn't connect there with her setter Bullis, as BYU will take the point.
Yeah, you talk about her leading in the tournament, team leading 33 kills, and she's not even top 3 for the kill leaders for her team.
Hannah Billiter came in to serve there as Bashir from the back row goes with the soft shot, puts it in the middle.
And Bashir had another wild game during that same set we were talking about. Mustangs really taking control over UC Davis. Bashir had one of the highest 6 points came off of aces for her.
Frederick misses on that serve as BYU goes back up by 1. Again, it's the 5 seed. Brigham Young University taking on Cal Poly, a Big 12, Big West matchup in the first round. Ellie Mortensen, good serve. Think that is a double contact violation. A couple of Cougars tried to go up and put that ball across.
And now here we are again, tied up at 5, and I think that both the defensive and offensive production has been so high for both of these teams just so early in this set.
I think both coaches have talked about how competitive this matchup can be. This should be a highly entertaining first match of the day in Los Angeles as Claire Little Chambers gets on the board with the kill.
Both of these teams trying to make it their own as we take a look at that replay there. Little Chambers just letting it rip, and there's no way you can get underneath that ball.
Second kill already for her as she has a good serve across. Frederick from the back row. Cal Poly has gotten a couple of kills from the back row so far.
It is just point after point here. Both teams tied at 3 kills apiece, and Cal Poly 2 service errors so far, BYU with 1.
Emmy Bullis has been that quarterback throughout the year and throughout her career at Cal Poly. Sully Davis gets popped up. Davis going for the back corner. Great shot from a true freshman, Sully Davis.
We saw Emma Frederick try and get a hand on that ball, but it just went past her reach. We'll take another look at it there. Sully Davis just finding a good placement, and Cal Poly thought they were able to receive it, but couldn't do it.
Annabelle Thalkin dug up. Scramble plays will be a part of this match, that's for sure. Which team can outlast in these rallies? Kendall Bashir puts it away there for the Mustangs.
And I think longer rallies are really going to be something to pay attention to in this match as a whole. We've seen both of these teams be able to thrive a little bit in those, BYU especially, and so when they're going point for point like this, it's going to be so important to see who can outlast who.
Coaches love to win those momentum plays as Kendall Bashir looking for some momentum from the service line. Little Chambers gets popped up, and now Annabelle Thalkin, the right side hitter. Sully Davis, pancake save attempt, called down, and Davis will take the kill.
Davis already putting in some momentum for her team, trying to kind of rally that together. 2 kills for her on 5 total attacks.
Right on that status quo, if you will, for Davis. You mentioned earlier she averages almost 5 kills a set. One of the top offensive players that you'll find in the country, especially as a freshman. She works it off the block there. Cal Poly has to scramble just to get it back over. From the back row, Claire Little Chambers off the block. It's a triple block. She says no problem.
I mean, that was the 1, 2, 3, do it to them. There was no getting past that. We'll take another look at that replay here. We just saw 3 Cal Poly players go up for it, and we saw Emma Frederick be able to get a hand on that one.
Claire Little Chambers, second team All Big 12 selection. Frederick able to work it on that scramble play, somehow puts it away for the point.
Frederick with over 380 kills on the season so far, as well as a leader in digs.
Still a 1-point lead for BYU as Ella Scott is in to serve for Cal Poly. Thalkin sending BYU into scramble mode. Lelouch able to knock it down, and Cal Poly ties it up at 9. Let's send it over to Pickle Coleman for a hit here.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Setter Emmy Bullis on Cal Poly now, after that pass play, moves into 3rd for Cal Poly's D1 career assist leaderboard. That makes 4,246 for her. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, as this has been such a tradition of great setters at Cal Poly over the years. BYU just got the side out, but going to stay on Cal Poly here for a minute. Emmy Bullis, fifth-year senior, has had her ups and downs throughout her career, but this year has really shined for the Mustangs as she will take the second ball here, and a great connection to Chloe Lelouch. That's where that shine has really come up over the latter half of the season.
I mean, Bullis really rose rather quickly to be one of the best setters in program history. Last year, she had a 3,000 set assist milestone, only accomplished by 7 other Mustangs. And we've seen her continue that into this season so far.
Good swing on the right side, getting side out Sophia Callahan. Back and forth we go in the first set.
And you can't say Cal Poly hasn't been giving it their all, really diving for each and every ball, trying to get all those points, really putting their bodies on the line there.
Over on 2, Bullis can do that as well. That is her 60th kill of the year. The first team All Big West selection.
Bullis is kind of one of those all-around players that's been so strong. She also has 25 aces on the year as well, and she's just someone that Cal Poly can rely on in so many different positions. Service
Ace. And the celebration from the Mustangs for Emma Frederick.
Frederick, another one of the leaders in aces for her team. That marked her 34th so far.
Yeah, and both of these teams top 3 in their respective conferences in service aces per set this year. Suli Davis kind of just find her and she'll make it work. All tied at 12 apiece in the first set. Hitting that all-important midway point. But no team has taken real control yet. This first round matchup. That is out of bounds. No touch on Cal Poly's side, and they'll take the point and the lead.
We really haven't seen a team go up higher than 2 points in this match so far. It's just been so tight, and it really goes to show the kind of discipline that has been leading them to this point in time.
Such great coaching staffs on both sides as well to talk about that discipline. As Halef Hurriet, good dig, counter attack gets blocked back. And BYU with an opportunity. Kemavor had to tip it over. Bashir popped up by Lulu Uluave. It's been so solid as a libero as well, and BYU will take the point off of Claire Little Chambers push down.
Little Chambers has really been one of the most complete outsides in the WCC. She really has been that 6 rotation weapon and such a strong defender as well.
Claire Little Chambers from Temecula. Number of BYU players have some West Coast ties, that's for sure. As Emmy Bullis will take the serve following the service error. Bullis had to travel from Whitewater, Wisconsin to find a home at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo. A little north of here, more like the middle of California. And Suli Davis, she calls a number of places home. Laie, Hawaii, also Texas as well. She calls that her real hometown, Euless, Texas. And the freshman able to get another kill. Outside it goes, Kendall Bashir. Good touch by Uluave just to keep it alive. Cal Poly with another opportunity and another outside set for Bashir. Suli Davis on the counter attack. That is wide. Cal Poly hits 15 first, and they're only up by 1 as we're going back and forth in this first round matchup between the Mustangs and the Cougars here on ESPN Plus. Back after this short break. Cal Poly has been able to make the NCAA tournament and win the Big West Championship tournament for the first time in Caroline Walters' head coaching career. 6th year here, but 17 years overall, as she has been a staple in San Luis Obispo. And on the other side, Heather Olmsted, one of the great coaches from west of the Mississippi, really, as the 11th year head coach with 22 wins this year, the fastest all-time to 200 Division I victories, and boy, the names that she passed on the way to that type of recognition: Dave Shoji of Hawaii, Terry Pettit of Nebraska, Don Shaw of Stanford, Russ Rose of Penn State. Heather Olmsted, the fastest out of all of them to 200 wins. In the middle, Cal Poly with a big side out, getting Charlotte Kelly going.
We see kind of an eruption of excitement from the team, just trying to do anything to kind of break this 1-point lead. And I think that's something we've seen all season from Emmy Bullish, just someone who is so present in getting her team hyped up and being supportive.
This Cal Poly squad has definitely leaned on senior leadership, and Emmy Bullis has set that tone. Following the service error, it's Zuli Davis back there for BYU. That one goes long. A number of service errors so far in this first set. That is the third for BYU. Cal Poly has 4. That feeling out process still happening with the Mustangs up by 1. Claire Little Chambers, dug up by Ayla Furrier. Zuli Davis from the back row. What a dig by London Haberfield. Haberfield is a defensive specialist that comes in the back row for Cal Poly. Frederick dug up by Bauer. Back and forth we go. Another good dig initially, but give the kill to Claire Little Chambers. Just too much firepower.
Too much firepower and perhaps not enough communication on Cal Poly's side. Obviously, you want to be able to save it, but when you're trying to save the ball and also not run into your teammate, makes things a little more difficult.
Hannah Billiter back in to serve for the Cougars. Frederick gets a touch call. Cal Poly gets another side up.
Cal Poly now, later in this set, regularly being able to maintain a 1-point lead, not really falling to BYU after they tie it back up.
Yet to have a hitting error. They're hitting 303. BYU hitting 235. Lelouch. Point goes to Cal Poly, a touch call. Timeout BYU. Heather Olmsted wants to talk things over. 2-point lead for Cal Poly. We were talking about how no team is really taking control. This is certainly the time for a team to take control, and right now it's the Mustangs.
It really is. Even though the score is still so close, only 2 points having the Mustangs in front, I think we've seen them really take charge of the latter half of this first set. I'm really trying to be more efficient and clean.
Yeah, speaking of efficiency, I was just talking about hitting percentages. 324 now for Cal Poly to BYU's 229. There's a few players that will be in our latter game, the 7 p.m. game, or 30 minutes after this one ends. USC will take on Princeton, as Galen Center has hosted the NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championship before, but not since the 2020s decade has started. Here in 2025, I think USC has been so excited to host, and we've got a great night of volleyball ahead, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and you know, being here in Los Angeles hasn't stopped people from showing up for their team. I've heard the Cal Poly section be pretty loud all night so far, and BYU has some blue behind us as well, so both teams having fans coming out to support them.
Yeah, Caroline Walters in our talk was quick to mention that the Mustang Band will be in attendance, and they are. They have made their noise throughout the venue. Of course, as you mentioned, those that have traveled from Utah, from Provo for BYU. Watching Brielle Kemavor come out of the timeout, get exactly what they need, a kill.
And that's exactly what I was going to say, Matt. That is so critical to be able to come out of the timeouts well, especially if you're sensing any sort of momentum shift. You want to be able to really use that break to your advantage and take control on the outside. Just
the first kill so far for Kemavor, as the middle blocker has averaged at least 2 kills a set throughout the year. And Chloe Lelouch, speaking of offensive middles, Lelouch, another kill.
I mean, if you want to have someone shut down any offensive production on the other side, it would be Chloe Lelouch. She is so good at being able to read the defense and get those kills in.
5th kill already. Lelouch continues her hot streak in this first set. Bashir off the block, that's out of bounds. And Cal Poly goes up by 3.
And now you can say this is the momentum that Cal Poly wanted out of the timeout, as we're going to get another one called here.
Final timeout of the set for BYU and Heather Olmsted, as Cal Poly has taken control of this first set that has really just gone back and forth so far, with teams that have been so strong offensively throughout the season. You see on your screen how both teams have kind of been able to dominate their respective conferences offensively.
I mean, they really have been. There's a reason why every point has been played to its fullest in this first set, going point for point, and it's because of how strong both of these offensive bars. You see 13.4 kills per set for Cal Poly, 14 for BYU. Pretty comparable there, and I think it's just going to be really about how cleanly they're able to finish out this set and how efficient they're able to keep their kills at.
Yeah, and that season average of 268 hitting percentage for BYU, they're at 243 right now. That is not too far off. It's just the fact that Cal Poly in this first set, they are now hitting 361, yet to accrue a hitting error, or as Coach Caroline Walters likes to just abbreviate to ease.
And, you know, if we're talking errors, service errors have plagued both of them. But for BYU, Heather Olmsted said they want them to go for it and that they want them to have an identity within their serve.
Aleph Hurriet will serve out of the timeout. In that red zone, if you will, 20-point onwards. BYU trying to get to that 20-point threshold, and Brielle Kemavor with her second kill of the set.
We saw Emma Frederick be a little upset with that one. We saw her not be able to get underneath it, and didn't seem like her face was too happy with that one. Cal Poly still leads.
From the back row, you talk about being angry with the last rally. Emma Frederick brought out that anger on that swing.
Absolutely. And, you know, that's kind of what you need to when it's been so tight all set. You're going to want to bring out that aggression and really toe the line between getting those hard hits versus getting another error.
Good serve from Emmy Bullis. Tight to the net. I don't think that Kendall Bashir needed to touch it, and I don't think she did. It doesn't matter. It's still on BYU's side. And Cal Poly closing in on a set 1 victory.
And Bashir, just a sophomore, being able to read up at the net so extremely well, and that's something that's been a strength of hers all season.
Bullis on a serving run. Davis trying to end it, but misses wide, and it's set point Cal Poly.
This is exactly how you take advantage of multiple timeouts and really make it your own. We see the Cal Poly crowd rising to their feet, hoping for their team to get this set point.
Suli Davis gets blocked back, has to recycle, gets another shot at it. Dug up by Aleph Hurriet. Kendall Bashir popped up. Davis again. What a one-hand stab and a save by Emma Frederick. Sully Davis, fourth time, not the charm. Bashir off the block and out, and Cal Poly wins a great rally to take set one, 25-19. Take a short break here on ESPN Plus as the Mustangs are up 1-0 in this best-of-5 match. Stay with us. Back after BYU talking things over as they just lost the first set. It is Cal Poly up 1-0, and we have Pickle Coleman here for more.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, after a very back-and-forth first set, Cal Poly was able to come up on top. I talked to Cal Poly head coach Caroline Walters before the game, and she talked about how going into this one, they knew how tough BYU's defense is going to be. She mentioned how their back row really does touch every ball, but she emphasized to her team their team motto up to this point, which is play aggressively with joy, and the Mustangs did just that. Now, as we enter set two, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Pickle. Yeah, Cal Poly with 21 digs in that first set. We just saw a back and forth affair throughout that first set, but the Mustangs kind of took over at the end.
Yeah, Cal Poly being able to put up 2 blocks, but as for the kills, pretty comparable. Cal Poly with 15 to BYU's 14, and I think that's really going to show how the 6 attacking errors for BYU really kind of took them out there in the end.
Again, 0 errors hitting-wise for Cal Poly, and that continues as Kendall Bashir gets them on the board in set number 2.
And, you know, when you're in a tournament appearance like this, you want to be getting aggressive, but I think Cal Poly's been doing such an excellent job of balancing that line of having the aggression, but really trying to keep it clean and efficient.
Brielle Kemavor, yeah, she's a middle, but when they're in that rotation, she can hit like a right side hitter as well, and she gets the kill and comes out. Kemavor, the junior from Virginia, rotates out of the front row. That means Elena Wallace is now in the front row for BYU, as that is down for Charlotte Kelly and Cal Poly.
And Kemavor has been so strong, as you said, kind of all over. She is an elite blocking presence, over 130 total blocks, and really has that patrolling middle type of mentality. But she is able to get those kills when she needs to.
Ella Scott back in to serve. Misses there. That is one advantage that BYU had in that first set. 3 service errors to Cal Poly's 4. Now it's 5 for the match.
And, you know, when we talked to both head coaches prior, I think they both emphasized still trying to go for those hard-earned service aces. And, you know, if you have a few service errors, it might be worth it if you're able to get the ladder.
Right on cue. Alex Bauer with her 23rd ace of the year. And BYU, you could say, was looking for something like that to get their momentum back. They're back up by 1 in this second set. Lelouch had 3 blockers up on her. No touch called. That is the first hitting error of the match for Cal Poly.
And, you know, who else but Bauer to kind of get BYU's momentum back in this? We'll take a look at that replay there. Lelouch trying to go for the kill, but not able to get it in.
Outside, it's Sully Davis down the line, blasting away, as Sully Davis now has 5 kills.
I mean, Sully Davis has been so strong all around.
The Big 12 Freshman of the Year, first team all Big 12 selection as well. Davis again.
I mean, you can almost say Davis has it in her blood. 2 of her aunts played volleyball as well at BYU.
And has just taken on the helm of being the leading offensive player for this Cougars squad as a true freshman. And Coach Heather Olmsted has said that she has been so impressed by her way to play with poise as Cal Poly off the side out brings back in London Haberfield to be the server. BYU up by 3 here in the second set. Davis again. Sully Davis is taking over.
And this is the type of excitement that head coach Heather Olmsted wanted coming into this match. She said it's the best time of the year, it's like Christmas, and this is what they've been waiting for since last December.
You can bet Davis is on track to do what she has been doing 5 out of the last 7 matches, and that's get 20 kills in a match. Has just been as strong as any outside hitter you can find in the country. As Cal Poly off the side out, we'll bring back Emma Frederick to serve. Chloe Lelouch, you see, is in the front row right now, along with Kendall Bashir and the setter Emmy Bullis. Right side, popped up by Haberfield. Bashir past the block and gets the kill. Lulu Uluave kind of crashing into that front row baseline seating area.
I mean, that had to be a hard hit for Uluave, just kind of throwing her shoulder into the chairs. We'll take a look at that there, trying to get behind it, and she just goes straight into the chairs.
There was an overpass off that last serve, and Chloe Lelouch put it away. Lelouch now with 6 kills, actually 7 kills already. Service error, and BYU will take it back.
Yet another service error for Cal Poly. They're doubling the service errors that BYU currently has.
Hence the 2-point lead so far in set number 2. Hannah Billiter with a good serve. Kendall Bashir, the outside hitter that loves to go as quick as possible, averaging over 3 kills a set this year with another kill there.
And Uluave stepped off for a point, back in already, but it's visible how red her shoulder is.
Yeah, it took a crash into that seating area, that's for sure. Certainly showing toughness, as it is that tough time of year. BYU with the side out off the Claire Little Chambers swing, and they bring back in Ellie Mortensen to serve. 6 kills for Little Chambers on 7 digs as well. Tight set, joust at the net, joust again. Kemavor had to put it over. Kemavor again. Kemavor one more time. And this time, the one they call BK being a stalwart in the middle.
I mean, Kemavor really wanted that point. We just saw her go tip after tip, getting it over the net, and she knew that point was hers for the taking.
Frederick Roll's shot had to be put back over on 1. And out of bounds, last touch by Cal Poly. BYU was able to just watch it go.
And what an almost different set it's been from that first set. We've seen BYU be able to really kind of come alive, and even the crowd itself finally chanting for their team.
Yeah, BYU is certainly in control with 6 kills on 7 errorless swings so far as a team in this second set. Make that 7 of 8. Brielle Kemavor coming alive as a timeout called by Cal Poly. Caroline Walters wants to talk things over before they hit 15. Be back here on ESPN Plus for more Mustangs and Cougars as BYU has taken control of set number 2. The Mustangs, the Big West champions of 2025, have certainly had their honorees this year. And these are the all Big West selections from the Mustangs this year. A couple of first-teamers, and we've seen everyone on this list contribute already in this match.
Oh, big contributors all across the board here, and I think we've seen how important they played in that first set, and they've really been fighting in their own for the second as well.
Trying to make their way back coming out of the timeout. Bashir dug up. Little Chambers popped up, trying to push it to the back corner, and boy, some firepower from the outside hitter in Kendall Bashir.
I mean, Bashir just absolutely fired it, and that kind of ripped straight into Sully Davis's chest. We'll take another look at that hit there. Perhaps it hit the arms, not the chest. I mean, if it did, that would get the wind knocked right out of you.
Coach Caroline Walters has just said that Kendall Bashir has been not only their best hitter on the outside, but has just been able to work that all-around game, has been so good as a passer, more importantly. That last hit was called out of bounds. BYU thought it was in, but no challenge. We do have a challenge review system in place, but it hasn't been utilized yet. That is a block and roof. Straight down for Cal Poly.
I mean, you saw that 1-2 block. Charlotte Kelly on it, and as soon as that block went up, the Cal Poly fans just rose to their feet in excitement because of how strong that blocking presence really was there.
Kelly and Thalkin combining on that double block. Emmy Bullis has been able to go on a run in this match already in this rotation. Scramble play just to get it over, but a free ball opportunity for the Cougars. Brielle Kemavor, one more time in this second set, has been able to get on fire offensively.
And BK has been a really good momentum ender for Cal Poly. Going into the break, BYU was on a 4-0 point streak. Out of the break, Cal Poly a 3-0 point streak, and now BK being able to put an end to that.
Davis somehow finds the floor with the tip shot.
I mean, how about that trick play from Davis? You know how lethal her windup can be for those kills. And so to try and do that and instead go in with a tip instead, Cal Poly just wasn't ready.
Outside it goes, it's Kendall Bashir. Kemavor popped up. Bashir will get a second shot at it. Davis blocked back. BYU has to recycle back to Davis. Falcon able to work it through and down for Cal Poly.
Cal Poly really trying to put her fight in her own right as a team. Let's take a look at that replay there of the windup. I mean, Falcon just has been so strong on that. That marks her first kill so far on 7 total attacks.
Kendall Bashir yet to kind of keep that serve in. Like you've been saying, Cal Poly certainly one of those teams that lets their servers go as hard as they want. Bashir is certainly trying to blast away from the service line.
But now with 7 service errors, how much is that going to be a detriment to you?
Right now it is a 4-point deficit for Cal Poly. Make it 5. BYU starting to get rolling in this second set. They're looking to equal that match lead of Cal Poly of 1-0 right now.
And BYU's been hitting a lot better in this current set at .364 so far.
Falcon seam shot high and hard as Cal Poly closes back to within 4 and brings back in Ellis Scott to serve.
I mean, Falcon tasted that first kill and just wanted some more.
For Annabelle Falcon, not just her second kill, does have a dig and a block to her ledger. Davis somehow kept alive on that pancake save by Emmy Bullis. Over onto Alex Bauer, has shown her prowess as a sophomore setter for BYU.
We'll take another look at it here. Just Bauer kind of using that trick, and once again, Cal Poly not being able to read those sort of out-of-system plays and really the sleight of hand that's been getting them BYU points.
First kill of the match for Bauer. 69 kills on the year for her as well. Oh, scramble play and a free ball opportunity for BYU. Right side again, this time Sophia Callahan able to put it away.
And Callahan, another one of those stronger players. You know, she has a little bit of limited court time, but has been able to be so effective during that time.
Third kill in the match for Callahan. Little miscommunication on Cal Poly's side. Another opportunity for the Cougars. Frederick now full swing off the block and out. Emma Frederick now with 5 kills and 6 digs in this match. London Haberfield back in to serve for Cal Poly. In a second set that has gone a lot more the way of BYU. And that's a big reason why. Suli Davis, her 10th kill of the match already.
Suli Davis has just simply been electric all match so far. And I think there's a reason why her team relies on her so much is she's given so many good looks by the rest of their team that has really let her be able to shine.
Chloe Lelouge off the block, kept alive. Claire Little Chambers able to fit it in, and another timeout call by Cal Poly. So that is their second and final of this second set in a set that has just gone to the Cougars of Brigham Young University. They certainly have brought together a team that has been able to get a lot of notables in the Big 12. Of course, led by Suli Davis, but she is not the only one.
No, I mean, Kemavor has been so strong, even in this own match. And we talked about Alex Bauer before, but let's look at Claire Little Chambers. Second team so far, over 400 kills, and really one of the most complete outsides. And she's been has such a heavy offensive volume on that left pin. And, you know, we talked about other players having it in their blood. She's married to Gavin Chambers, a middle blocker on BYU's men's volleyball team, and her brother, an opposite hitter on BYU's men's volleyball team. So she really can't get away from the volleyball.
And, of course, the men's volleyball team, a great program to go alongside the women's program at BYU in Provo. That volleyball culture is so deep and passionate about this great game, and I think you can see on your screen a good amount of blue in the crowd in Los Angeles. Not too far of a travel day for them. I think there is one team in this 4-team kind of mini hosting of at the Galen Center, and that is Princeton, that had to travel all the way from the East Coast, and we will see them in that second match against USC. Suli Davis out of the timeout with the good serve. Oh, what a one-hand save by Kendall Bashir just to keep it alive. But the BYU block was ready, and they capitalize.
And that BYU block has been strong. We've seen it come up again and again. Almost 2.2 blocks per set, and going into this match, they were nearly even with their opponents on those blocks. A slight negative margin, but not enough to offset BYU's advantages elsewhere.
Good awareness at the net by Cal Poly as Elena Wallace had a shot at it on an overpass. But the Mustangs will take that point, trying to close that gap, as BYU is certainly in the red zone at 21.
Yeah, Little Chambers just not able to get underneath that one.
Service error will help the Cougars, though, here as Billiter comes back in to serve.
That marks the 8th service error for Cal Poly, and that's kind of been a storyline in its own right. When you're giving up 8 points for the service error against BYU's 3, that's got to show you something.
And just like that, BYU up by 9 in this second set. Sophia Callahan getting most of that overpass kill. Lelouge on a slide. Good pancake save by Billiter. Outside it goes. Kendall Bashir dug up by Sully Davis. And now Davis with the attack on the double block. It's blocked back and down.
And now we've seen a few BYU players really put it all on the line, trying to go for those far out balls. We'll take a look at that replay there. We're just kind of off the poor touch from BK, and Sully Davis trying to give it her all to get to that ball in time.
Elif Hurriet back to serve. Cal Poly just looking for some momentum at the very least. Heading into set 3. That will not be it for Cal Poly. That will certainly be it for BYU. Sophia Callahan.
And that's exactly the type of response you want on that. Sophia Callahan over 215 kills on the season, as well as 69 digs and 60 blocks coming into this match.
Set point for the 5 seed. Free ball opportunity coming for Cal Poly. Over on 2 goes Bullis. Good scramble play between a couple of teammates in Uluave and Davis. Davis tried to keep it in over the net, but could not do so. That one technically went over the antenna. That is called out of bounds. Still set point for the Cougars.
And really, Cal Poly here is looking to be as clean as possible as they try to get over this deficit.
Emmy Bullis, probably the server they want right now. Goes left side, it is Kendall Bashir, finds the line shot. And that's another point for the Mustangs.
And Bashir is one of those players who really is able to rally her team back into this set. We'll take a look at that replay there. Kind of almost going with a misdirect of her own going up that side.
Still set point for BYU. Kemavor, touch called. And BYU matches Cal Poly. It is 1 set apiece going into the third here on ESPN+. This has been one of those matches that has been so highly anticipated on both sides, and we're seeing why. Pickle Coleman with coach of Cal Poly, Caroline Walters.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Cal Poly head coach Caroline Walters. Coach, your team came out on fire, took that first set, but fell short in the second. How would you assess your team's play so far tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we started out at 94% in set 1. That's an unheard of number, so hard to sustain that. I think they served aggressive from the service line in set 2. Our passes just have to be a little bit better as we get going.
Going into the second half of play, what is the biggest adjustment you want to see your team make to slow BYU's rhythm?
Yeah, I think we have to pass well and attack well on our side, and then we have to be able to stop 25 and 24, and we knew that going in, and I think we contained them in set 1. So can we go back to what we were doing in set 1 and make this an interesting match?
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, the 25 and 24 she just talked about, Sully Davis and Brielle Kemavor. They were able to equal this matchup at 1 set apiece. Back inside Galen Center, Cal Poly and BYU all tied up at 1 set apiece, and we have BYU's head coach with Pickle Coleman.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with BYU head coach Heather Olmstead. Coach, What message do you have for your team at halftime?
Yeah, I really liked the way we turned it around in the second set. Our passing got a little bit better. Offensively, they're playing great and they're being scrappy, so we got to get a few more stops. But I like the way that we fought and we were scrappy in the second set. I think we're serving a little bit tougher and getting them out of system. If we can get our transition numbers up, I think we're doing a good job, so we just got to keep fighting.
You had an incredible second set, really kind of turned the script a bit here. What is the biggest thing your team needs to do to maintain that momentum going into the second half?
Yeah, be consistently good, not make so many errors, limit our errors as much as we can from behind the service line and attacking. And we cleaned it up, and we saw that in the second set.
Thanks so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Thank you to both coaches and Pickle Coleman for that report, as BYU able to tie this matchup at 1 set apiece. The impact players, that really is the impact of set 1 on the left side and set 2 on the right, as Cal Poly and BYU have split so far.
I mean, it's been quite a difference between the sets, as we talked about, and you heard both head coaches talk about the difference between the two. Looking at the second set, BYU able to go 17 for 38. That's hitting over 340. And on the other side, Cal Poly 13 for 32, also over 340. And so what's wrong there has really been the errors that has been plaguing Cal Poly in that second set. We saw Cal Poly put up more blocks than BYU, and so it's really being able to take that broom out and clean up your playing and really focus in on that efficiency.
Mustangs have hit the floor first. They're set to go in this third set to kind of go off of those impact players. Chloe Lelouch with 7 kills. She's hitting .462. Kendall Bashir, 9 kills. She is errorless right now on 25 swings, hitting .360. For an outside hitter, that is fantastic. On the other side, for BYU, Sully Davis, 11 kills on 29 swings. She's hitting .276. And Claire Little Chambers, 7 kills on 16 swings. She's hitting .375 in just what has been a back and forth affair all match long.
It really has been, and so it'll be interesting to see how both teams come out after the break. Could Cal Poly bring back the momentum they saw in that first set?
Emmy Bullis, that first server that Cal Poly likes to utilize and has already been on a run. That was back in set number 1. What happens in this pivotal turnkey third set? Outside it is Sully Davis. Who else? Dug back over. Opportunity again for BYU. Kemavor. Free ball one more time. Kemavor. This time a full swing, and that one's down and in.
Kemavor once again coming in on that really important timing. We see her get the first point of this third set, and just being able to really read that line so well, ball just sneaking in.
6'5" junior from Virginia. Rotated out of the front row there. Now it's back to Elena Wallace for BYU, and Wallace contributed in having 2 BYU Cougars up on that overpass. Not sure who got more of it, Wallace or Bauer. Either way, it's a Cougar point.
And Wallace has been really clutch when she needs to be for this team.
It's had to kind of fill in from their initial starter throughout the year, and has done a great job helping BYU get to this point, as Cal Poly off the side out.
She's really been that reliable blocker and really shores up that net play, but we saw there Cal Poly able to run away with that point.
Good pass off the Bashir serve. And Annabelle Thalkin with the full swing off that double block, kept in play. Here comes Sully Davis. Bashir has been so solid in the back row, getting a dig there. Davis fits it in down the line.
Davis has been so strong down the line. This is yet another one of her kills that we've seen her really be able to focus on that placement and really being able to try and avoid any errors as possible.
12 kills already for Suli Davis. Alex Bauer with a good serve. Over on two goes Emmy Bullis, the other setter for BYU, able to snuff that out, and now Bauer sets up her right side hitter. And it's blocked back and a roof for the Mustangs.
There's Charlotte Kelly and Emma Frederick on the block there, and just another ways that Cal Poly has been able to stay in this fight. That marks their 6th block to BYU's 1.
Ella Scott back in to serve for Cal Poly. Right side, it is Sophia Callahan, popped up. Frederick trying to go to that really far corner, or short inside corner, I should say, but missed wide.
Suli Davis will be back to serve. No service aces for her so far.
Service error, in fact, there, though that hit that tape. Could have trickled over, but stayed on BYU's side. London Haberfield back in to serve for Cal Poly. 1 point lead for BYU in this all-important third set. First round action of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championships. That one's down for Chloe LaLouche.
LaLouche once again showing up where it counts. That's her 8th kill so far on 14 total attacks.
That connection has just been able to brew throughout the season between Bullis and LaLouche. Good connection for Wallace, but that time Bullis able to put it over on two in transition.
And Bullis just absolutely hyped up with that one. Another one of those types of plays that Cal Poly has been implementing this set.
She was one of those names on the Big West honorables graphic we showed you earlier. That's a net violation, though, on Cal Poly, so BYU will take the point, tie it up at 5.
And this has been pretty similar to that first set we saw, with each team kind of going point for point. And I think that Cal Poly has really been bringing the fight back to BYU.
Free ball opportunity for the Mustangs. Frederick, dug up by Davis. Callahan popped up by Bashir. LaLouche unable to get that connection going, and BYU back up by 1.
And LaLouche is currently leading all players in hitting. We'll take a look at her attempt there, just couldn't get it over.
Missed connection and a challenge from Cal Poly.
Cal Poly is challenging if there was a net violation.
Looking for a net violation. This can be at any point in that last rally. Could also be a pseudo timeout, but may have been something that Caroline Walters saw something, and this will be our best view, this net cam. Certainly net movement, but I don't think I see any part of a BYU Cougar touching the net there.
Definitely hard to tell in this moment. Both head coaches using this opportunity to speak with their respective teams. You're currently looking at the Cal Poly bench, laying down, trying to get something going.
They do like to do things together during challenges like this. I'm not sure if there is any other part of the rally that we could look at to see if there's another possibility for BYU to be in the net.
Cal Poly enjoying maybe how this set is going. Obviously, spirits aren't too low from the loss of the second set. We'll take another look here to try and determine if there was a net violation at any time on BYU. Hard to tell.
Yeah, hard to tell from that angle, but from that first net camera angle, I don't think there was any net violation, but
After
we'll
review,
see.
the call is confirmed. There was no net. Cal Poly loses the challenge.
So BYU retains the point. Cal Poly still has a challenge left, and should this go to 5 sets, they'll gain another.
Both benches kind of looking alive, as well as the crowd. BYU's crowd has been especially loud since that second set.
Out of that challenge review, Emma Frederick misses, and BYU will go up by 2. Serve goes long, and a little back and forth here in the middle of this third set.
And, you know, if we're looking at kill leaders, it's been pretty even. Sully Davis leading with 12, but Kendall Bashir right there at 9. There's 3 BYU players against 2 Cal Polys in the top 5.
Off the block and down, Claire Little Chambers powering it through.
We'll take another look at that block here. Little Chambers just trying to fire it through and able to find the ground.
In the middle, it's Chloe Lelouge, and that is called out of bounds off the BYU block. I think we'll get a challenge from the Cougars.
And we are getting a challenge.
They were pretty adamant that that was in. And Troy Gravitt will go back to the challenge review system here.
BYU is challenging that the ball was in.
There's our second referee, Troy Gravitt, as Paula Martin is the top referee, BR1. Miles Ferruya, Zitalia Martinez are the Lions judges. And here's another look.
Seems the call is ready to be made.
After review, the call is reversed. The ball is in. BYU retains their challenge.
So BYU retains their challenge, able to really take advantage of really 2 points there off of the challenges. And
the swing gives them the 3-point lead, that's for sure. And Heather Olmsted was pretty certain that they were going to win that challenge. You see how the rest of the bench for BYU kind of could have a good look down the line in that instance. Ball goes off the video board. This is a new video board this year inside Galen Center. Play was kept on the Cal Poly side. That's why it went on, and it was still BYU point at the end of that rally. Timeout called by Caroline Walters. She wants to talk things over as they find themselves down by 4. BYU with the advantage in this all-important third set here on ESPN+. They have been able to get their offense going with Brielle Kemavor. More after this. Matt Brown, McKenna Arteaga here on ESPN+. Glad you're with us inside Galen Center. BYU and Cal Poly locked up at 1 set apiece in this all-important third set. 4-point lead for the Cougars. That is down the line, big side out and kill for Kendall Bashir.
And it's really needed for Cal Poly. They're currently hitting in the negatives right now, and that's because they were 3 kills for 13 attacks, but with 4 errors. And so putting another one on the board is certainly needed.
Kemavor sent Cal Poly into scramble mode. Little Chambers off the double block, finds the floor, and BYU retains that 4-point lead.
And as for BYU, this is the second set they're being able to hit over 300, and that's something that we heard during halftime that Cal Poly did well, was being able to keep BYU from getting those big kills, and they were under 200 for that first set.
Trying to fly in from the back row was Emma Frederick. Had to tip it over. Davis with the tip. Good pancake save, London Haberfield. Kendall Bashir able to capitalize on the other end of that rally, and Cal Poly with the side out.
Cal Poly really hyped up after that one, trying to get back into this third set. We'll take another look at that pancake there going up, and then the kill from Bashir.
London Haberfield has been such a key defensive specialist throughout her career at Cal Poly. She just rotated out because Annabelle Falcon is back in the front row on the right side. Gets the swing here off the double block and back on the Cal Poly side. A recycle to Kendall Bashir. Couple of points in a row, and Cal Poly needed it.
And the fans here are just crazy on their feet right now. So excited. We'll take another look at that kill there, and what a wind-up. And how far do you think they're able to jump off the ground to be able to get that much air time?
Yeah, Bashir at 5'10". At the D1 level can be considered a bit undersized, but certainly makes up for it with her physicality, as BYU gets a point off the service error. And now it's Lulu Uluave back to serve.
And Uluave has been such a trooper ever since going into those chairs earlier in the match.
And speaking of trooper, being able to just trickle it over the net for a service ace. 15 aces now on the season for Uluave, the sophomore, native of Laie, Hawaii. It's where BYU Hawaii is as well. Good connection there. Firing out of the back row, little Chambers. And she gets to pass this free ball opportunity. One hand save, kept in play for the moment. Davis dug up by Hurriet. Falcon puts that one down.
And Cal Poly really doing a good job of eating away at that BYU. Still 3-point lead, but they've been doing a much better job after those two challenges of trying to get back into this match.
BYU kind of thought there was a double contact violation on that last rally. Didn't put too much conversation into it, though, as Suli Davis goes off the double block, kept in play. A foot save, kick save, if you will, by Falcon, keeping it alive, and BYU still able to get the point. Suli Davis fitting in down the line.
I mean, Suli Davis has just been such an impact player all night. Once again, just reading the line so well, able to find the inside of the court.
Emmy Bullis was there, thought it was going out of bounds. Emma Frederick able to get the side out. They run so quick to the outside, and Frederick able to take advantage.
And what a response from Frederick, completely cross court, and really hard to kind of respond to that, and that's kind of why BYU didn't. That was almost a bullet rocketed down.
And block was a little late there. Cal Poly likes to say that they try to run zero tempo to Frederick, and Bashir for that matter if they're able to. BYU going to the right side, Sophia Callahan with the side out. Suli Davis back to serve for the Cougars. That serve just missing long. Cal Poly needing that side out, bringing back in London Haberfield to be a defensive specialist and serve.
And Kendall Bashir really recognizing the call to not go after that serve and make sure that it stayed out. Kind of congratulating her teammates in that way.
It's really been the attribute that Coach Caroline Walters has said that is the best out of Kendall Bashir, passing. And that time it's blocking in the front row. Chloe Lelouge getting a lot of it.
See the block from Cal Poly, and there's Bashir right there giving her big emotional support.
Outside it goes Frederick. Working out another kill, and Cal Poly working their way back into this third set, down 1.
I mean, coming back from that many points of a deficit in an NCAA match, not unheard of, but not easy either.
Sophia Callahan being the focus in this third set offensively for BYU in her turn across the front row, getting a kill.
7th kill so far on 16 attacks, bringing her hitting percentage to over 300.
Hannah Billiter back in to serve. Over on 2 goes Bullis, but misses wide.
Both teams just kind of going back and forth, trying to get good production really going. 41 kills for BYU to Cal Poly's 37.
That one a tough hitting error though on Cal Poly's side. That is their 5th of this set alone compared to just 2 for BYU. Probably a good reason why BYU has a 3-point lead. Frederick blocked back, kept alive. Bashir with an attack from the back row. Callahan dug up by Haberfield. Bashir, that is in.
And you just see Haberfield and Harriet just really so excited for that. Bashir is just so undeniable. Let's take a look at that swing, and that ball had no intention of being dug.
Kendall Bashir now with 13 kills on 32 swings, still errorless. She's hitting 406. Speaking of efficiency, out of the middle, this time it's Brielle Kemavor. That's her 10th kill on 21 swings.
And what a response from Kemavor herself. It was almost hard hit for hard hit, and what a hard hit that was.
Hitting 381 now is Kemavor. Ellie Mortensen misses on that serve. Cal Poly puts it back to within 2. Charlotte Kelly back in the front row. So that means Chloe Lelouch has rotated out. Aleph Hurriet is the server. In the middle, it's Kemavor missing wide there. No touch called. BYU wants it. Will they challenge? Yeah, challenge incoming from Heather Olmstead. These are big points down the stretch of this third set, and they are certainly looking for a block touch.
BYU is challenging it. There was a touch on Cal Poly.
And
Troy Gravette announcing that.
Uluave really sure that there was a touch there, signaling to head coach Olmstead to do a challenge for this. We'll take a look at it here, see if we can see it from this angle. That's Haberfield who goes up for it. You can't really see her from this angle. Possibly up at the net as well, but it looked like Haberfield might have tried to save it and keep it in.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is the closest kind of shot at getting a touch call in this challenge review is the back row touch instead of the front row touch. Usually when it's a challenge, you're looking for a challenge off of the block, but this time off of the back row player. Haberfield certainly went to go dig that ball, try to go up with her 2 hands above her head. And I think there is a decision.
After review, the call is reversed. There's a touch on Cal Poly. BYU retains their challenge.
BYU, another successful challenge.
something that head coach Olmsted has been so strong at kind of all season, calling challenges at opportune times, and a lot of them really going their way. We'll take another look at it now. We see the setup from BK try and go, and unable to see from that angle, but call was reversed.
Certainly enough evidence to overturn. Haverfield with the initial dig, went over the net. Another opportunity here for Cal Poly and Kendall Bashir. Soft roll shot, works it down.
Bashir able to make those plays kind of not only out of challenges but out of breaks as well. She's really a momentum starter for this Cal Poly team.
Bashir now with 14 kills in the match. Leader on the floor in that category. Leader on the floor getting to that ball, keeping it in play. Free ball opportunity for the Cougars. Joust at the net, still won by BYU.
And we've talked about how electric this crowd has been, but they're just erupting after that point. We'll take another look here. Just kind of tipping it right on over, and Cal Poly unable to respond and get underneath it.
Uluave back to serve. BYU has hit that 20-point threshold. They're in the red zone, if you will, as Bashir is able to work it off the block that time and out of bounds.
And who else but Bashir, really? She's been running the offense in this third set pretty much the whole match as well. 15 kills on 35 attacks so far.
This time keeping her jump serve in. From the back row, firing away, Claire Little Chambers.
Little Chambers, another one with one of those explosive arms. We'll take another look at it there. No response needed.
Second team All Big 12 selection. Has had 16 service aces over the last 8 matches. Has been one of their better servers as well. Not the server right now, and it doesn't matter as Cal Poly gets the side out.
And Cal Poly has really shown a lot of strength at the net, whether it's getting points off of the opponent's touch or their blocking. It's something that they really continue to thrive at, to be able to get points off of. 7 blocks so far to BYU, still only 2.
Davis able to take that bump set, drive it to the back row of Cal Poly, scramble play, overpass. Suli Davis takes advantage for her 14th kill.
I mean, Suli Davis trying to get back at that kill leader for this whole match so far. Kendall Bashir currently leading it at 15. Suli Davis right behind her.
And Davis goes back to serve. Lelouch blocked back. Falcon off the block. Callahan with 2 blockers up, works it through and down. Timeout called Cal Poly. And BYU with a 4-point lead in this pivotal third set. A match that's tied up at 1 set apiece.
And really, this third set has kind of been an overview of that first 2. Let's take another look at that last point there. We saw Cal Poly be able to break through that block and then just going for it again. BYU in response able to kind of get it up and over to win the point. But as I was saying, it's been so reflective as a whole. We'll look at these team stats. Pretty even in kills. Cal Poly hitting a little bit more efficiently than BYU currently. Almost even at assists, as well as blocking and digs have been quite the difference for Cal Poly, but not enough to get them the points they need right now.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe with those stats on the screen, and those are over the match as a whole, but in a way hard to believe that it's Cal Poly the one on their heels being threatened to be down 2-1 in this match.
I think they just came out so hard in that first set, and it really awoken something in BYU to be able to have a response like the second set and like we're seeing now in this third set as well.
Hitting 350 in this third set alone are the Cougars. And Suli Davis, their offensive leader, is back to serve. In the middle, it's Lelouch. Misses long. Set point for BYU.
Hurriet looking to her head coach as if she thought there was a touch there, but no challenge is going to be called.
Balkin off the double block. Opportunity for the Cougars to get the advantage in the match. Frederick gets a second shot at it. Initial touch by Davis, but it goes out of bounds.
Cal Poly once again creeping closer to kind of taking over BYU, now just a 4-point deficit, and as well as an end to BYU's 3-0 scoring run.
London Haverfield in to serve. Play the back row for Cal Poly. Claire Little Chambers ends set 3. And BYU takes it 25-20. They're up in this match 2-1. Claire Little Chambers has been able to erupt offensively with her 12th kill there, and she also has 10 digs in this match. Again, BYU up 2-1. Set number 4 upcoming on ESPN Plus after this. Matt Brown and McKenna Arteaga here on ESPN Plus. Let's send it over to the third member of our team, Pickle Coleman, for more on this Cal Poly BYU matchup.
Thanks, guys. BYU is on a roll here right now. Just won 2 sets in a row, and Claire Little Chambers just secured a double-double here tonight. It's getting interesting as we head into this next set. It's going to be very telling to see which team can really come out on top here. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mickle. And Claire Little Chambers, 12 kills, able to keep that hitting percentage up at .423, and has been all over the floor defensively as well with those 10 digs.
Yeah, only 1 attacking error to her name as well as 1 service error. Been playing pretty cleanly so far.
BYU now up 2-1 going into this fourth. In this best of 5, they can win it and move on to the second round. With a win in this fourth set, Cal Poly has to say that let's get it to 5, with Annabelle Falcon getting them on the board early.
And the first 3 sets were quite different. Let's look at the tying scores. The first set had 16 against the second and third, only having 2 apiece. So that first set was really quite extraordinary for both teams going point for point.
And it was such an advantage statistically for Cal Poly. That was probably another reason why we saw that graphic earlier for the match as a whole. Cal Poly has the advantage in many statistical categories, but BYU is the one that has been able to fight in that second set, win it, and then dominate in the third. Annabelle Falcon, though, with a couple of kills already in this fourth set, trying to carry her team offensively early.
And, Falcon's been so good at that all-around player for her team.
Ella Scott back in to serve for Cal Poly. Has to take the secondary set. Went over the net. Bashir now able to get a roll shot across. Suli Davis blocked back. Davis again. Good one-hand save, but a little bit of entanglement on Cal Poly's side between Frederick and Falcon. Ends up in a BYU point.
And you got to be speaking with your team at this point, especially when each set has been so close. Just Cal Poly not able to pull it through on that one. BYU back to serve.
I do like that they are just able to laugh that one off. Kendall Bashir down the line. That's in.
Definitely important to be able to laugh off points like that, especially with the perceived possible pressure you see from an NCAA match. I know we spoke to BYU's head coach about pressure. It brings a big moment pressure from head coach Heather Olmstead. It's just calling it different pressure. Not necessarily bigger pressure, more pressure, just different.
Block and roof. Big one from the double block of Chloe Lelouge and Emmy Bullis.
Emmy Bullis, a name that got a little quieter in that third set, but has been so strong all around this match.
Over on two, a good time for Alex Bauer to record a kill as she has been able to pick her spots offensively.
And Bauer has been another one of those key players for BYU. 37 assists so far, as well as a service ace.
Creeping up on a double-double as well with 8 digs. There's the connection, strong again between Bullis and Lelouge.
And that one kind of hit Bauer right in the face. Her teammates and coach checking in to make sure that she's fine, and she is mouthing to them that she is okay.
Chloe Lelouge kind of cooled down in that third set as BYU has kind of focused in on her defensively. Only hitting 250 has been one of the most efficient players in the Big West Conference. How about one of the big service ace getters in the Big West Conference? Kendall Bashir with her first ace of the night.
And we just see the celebration after that one. Bashir, her first service ace.
So an ace and an error, and I think we have Pickle Coleman for more on this matchup.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Emmy Bullis with her past assist has now moved into the number 2 spot of career assists for Cal Poly players in their D1 era. She is now in that number 2 spot for assists. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Pickle. Yeah, Emmy Bullis trying to get the ball over in that scrambled play, but has been such a stalwart in this program. Has been a key player and a key reason why their offense has worked so well throughout 2025. As she looks to connect with their outside hitter, Emma Frederick, and it works for the side out.
And what an accomplishment for her tonight to be in that number 2 slot and honestly be able to put up the game she's been able to so far. 37 assists as well as 6 digs.
Back to serve for Cal Poly. A new entry is Marin O'Farrell. She is wearing the other libero jersey for them. So Cal Poly working that double libero system. Really just in for that serve, and Ayla Hurriet back in to the back row.
It'll be interesting to see how they use O'Farrell going into this 4th set if she does come back into play.
Off the block and out, Emma Frederick continues her strong play in the front row.
Head coach Olmstead almost with a stonewall face at that one. Hard to read her expression and know what she's thinking about the way the 4th set has been going so far. Cal Poly leading by 2. Make that 3.
Cal Poly finding the momentum. We were talking about how we didn't say Emmy Bullis' name a lot in that 3rd set. Certainly can say a lot of Emmy Bullis' name in the 4th. Another good serve. Kemavor somehow dug up, kept alive. Free ball opportunity for the Cougars. Kemavor again. Net violation called on Cal Poly. Give the point to BYU.
And Coach Olmstead has really been active all night at the sideline, but especially now in this fourth set, calling out to her team and not only giving encouragement, but really having them try to step up in this set.
Frederick somehow got an attack on that. Has to get another attack out of system, and now in the middle it's Brielle Kemavor. In that entire rally, it seemed like BYU was the one that was in system, and they were able to get the point.
BK once again coming so clutch in those moments. She's now hitting over 400 at 417.
Good serve from Claire Little Chambers. That works out like an ace, but statistically it is Suli Davis with another kill.
Davis continuing to lead all players for BYU in kills at 15. Kendall Bashir still leading at 16 overall.
That serve into the net, and Cal Poly goes back up by 1. Galen Center filling up here as we're down the stretch of this first match, and upcoming is USC and Princeton. Good pickup by Bullis to keep it alive. Another opportunity for the Mustangs. Outside it goes to Bashir. Softer shot, pancake save, but BYU unable to keep it alive and put it back over.
And that almost seemed like a possible communication error on BYU's part. You saw the pancake, but no response after that incredible save.
Kemavor on the right side in that rotation. Now goes back in the middle, trying to block Bashir. Davis blocked and roofed.
And once again, the Cal Poly crowd rises to their feet, hoping to get their team back in this. I mean, come on, look at that sea of green right here in Galen Center.
Great contingency has made the trip down from San Luis Obispo. Into the net, no touch off that block, doesn't really matter. As Cal Poly on a roll in this fourth set, trying to push this match to 5. BYU takes a timeout. It is 13-9 Mustangs in this first round matchup in Galen Center. We'll be back on ESPN Plus with BYU trying to make their way back into it, but the service pressure from Cal Poly, too much right now. We're here in the first round of the NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball National Championship Tournament, but we do want to highlight that the semifinals will be on Thursday, December 18th, 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. on ESPN. As we welcome you back here on ESPN Plus, Cal Poly still on a roll coming out of the timeout. This is what just happened.
I mean, we saw BK go for another kill, not able to get it up and over. Point goes to Cal Poly.
Into the net with that serve. BYU still very much in it here in this fourth set. Remember, they can finish off the match with a win in set 4. Cal Poly's just looking to win this fourth set to push it to a 5th. Lulu Uluave, a big service ace.
And what a timing for a service ace for BYU, really using that timeout to their advantage to get some more points on the board, now down to a 3-point deficit.
Uluave from Hawaii, hails from the always strong Punahou School, and gets the free ball pass opportunity for BYU, and that one is down. Suli Davis.
And the team effort here has been so strong. That was the second service ace from Uluave, and we've talked about Davis all night. 17 kills so far and 47 attacks, hitting just above 2,300.
That is out of bounds, but Cal Poly disagrees with the call. We may get a challenge. Remember, Cal Poly lost a challenge earlier in this match. They will challenge here.
Cal Poly is challenging that the ball was in.
Troy Gravette with the announcement. Yes, certainly looking down that sideline, whether the ball is in or out.
And for a call to be overturned, it needs to be concrete evidence that the other is in fact true. BYU currently on a 4-0 scoring run right now, so this could be a major blocker in that momentum. We'll take another look here to see if there was a touch, and it seems the call is made.
After review, the call is reversed. The ball was in. Cal Poly retains their challenge.
So Cal Poly now winning the challenge, being able to retain it as well, going differently than their first challenge, and what a critical point for them.
Certainly, and it's even more critical to retain challenges that were in that middle part of a fourth set. Yes, you get an additional challenge if we go to a fifth, but Cal Poly wants to get it there first. May need that challenge back down the stretch in this fourth. Good swing out of the middle, Elena Wallace.
Wallace just kind of letting it swing and really using that firepower to rocket it on down, and that's the kind of response you want if you're BYU after losing a challenge like that.
Not as many attempts as Brielle Kemavor, the other middle for BYU. Trying to get it going as Chloe Lelouge able to elevate and terminate over her in the middle.
I mean, Cal Poly with a response of their own, really fighting to stay in this, and they've done a great job of that in this fourth. There's going to be a stoppage for a towel cleanup really quickly on the BYU side of the court.
Haven't seen too much of that in this matchup. Still a lot of effort produced on both sides, but the rhythm has been pretty consistent as we take a look back at that last play.
I mean, you talk about consistent rhythm. What about that setup for that play? That's consistency at its best.
Out of the back row, it's Claire Little Chambers finding the floor, cutting the lead to 2.
And Little Chambers hitting over 440 so far. That kill actually brought her up to 464. 14 kills on 28 total attacks, as well as those 13 digs for her double-double.
Think of hitting percentage, especially for outside hitters like Little Chambers, as a batting average. So 464 is incredible, like you said, McKenna, as that is off the block, dug up by Frederick in the back row for Cal Poly. However, the counterattack misses wide. BYU closes to within 1.
Coach Olmsted clapping at that point, really getting animated on the sideline. Thank you.
15, serving 16. Davis misses on that serve, goes into the net. Heather Olmsted watching as her team can close it out here in this fourth. 2018 AVCA National Coach of the Year. More recently, a U21 National Team Coach for the United States. They were able to get gold in the 2025 NORCECA Pan Am Cup, as that is worked off the block and out. And Sophia Callahan gets another tally on her kill count.
And that block for Cal Poly has been so strong all night. You saw it there, 10 blocks so far against BYU's 3 blocks.
Bashir fits that in. BYU thinks it's out.
You see Bauer really calling for it, a challenge to be made. And it seems Olmsted will, in fact, issue a challenge. Bauer still giving the face to her coach that it should be.
BYU is challenging that the ball was out.
A lot of work being done at the challenge review system throughout these last couple of sets, but that's how competitive this matchup has been between the Mustangs and the Cougars. Of course, this set Cal Poly absolutely needs to push it to a fifth, and BYU has been working their way back into it throughout this fourth set. This could be a big turning point.
I mean, each and every point is so critical, but when you're at 18-16 right now in this fourth set, as you set it up, Matt, so important. We take a look at that replay there. Hard to tell. I do not envy the referees in this position, but BYU seemed pretty certain about their version of the call.
That's a tougher angle to tell, but it does seem like that ball hit the baseline. Like you said, BYU was so adamant that it was out of bounds.
After review, the call is confirmed. The ball is in. BYU will lose a challenge.
Well, in BYU's case, they had their 2 challenges, so they still have 1 left in this fourth set at least. And if we go to 5 again, each coach will gain another.
So important to retain those challenges in this moment, especially considering how back and forth really every set has been. A little bit less in that second set, but other than that, it really has been a fight for every point.
Overpass and an opportunity for Cal Poly off the block and kept out of bounds. Emma Frederick with the kill.
Frederick, another name we've said all night. That's her 12th kill so far on 30 attacks, hitting over 250.
That is right around, actually maybe a little bit better than her season average. She was hitting 218 coming into this matchup. It has been so important as one of the outside hitters for Cal Poly. O'Farrell misses on that serve. Did get a natural point, though, for the Mustangs as BYU goes back there with Ellie Mortensen.
So once again, only a 2 point separating these 2 high-caliber teams.
About to enter the red zone. Frederick off the block, kept alive. Here comes Claire Little Chambers. Kelly sent BYU into scramble mode. From the back row, it's Bashir. Had to be a diving save from Bowers. Little Chambers over the double block, kept in play. Bashir, that is a back row attacker violation. Bashir stepped maybe even over that 10-foot line.
Definitely not something you want to be doing if you're Cal Poly in this moment. Now only 1 point separating these 2 teams.
Frederick firing away on the outside. That zero tempo ball working out well for Cal Poly.
And the refs are going to say the point goes in off the touch of Uluave. They are trying to save it, then backing away from it. But what a point for Cal Poly.
Kemavor able to find the floor. BYU cuts it back to within 1.
And we're just hearing 2 sides of Galen Center erupt point after point. It is constant noise and battle in here.
Yeah, and you count in the fans from USC and Princeton that have filed in. I'm kind of curious as to who they're cheering for right now as Frederick keeps it in play. Kemavor trying to put it away. Falcon, that's down.
Falcon, another one of those really reliable players for Cal Poly. So strong, almost on her way to a double-double in her own set. 7 digs so far with a matching 7 kills. But as you were saying earlier, I'm sure all the fans in here want to see some good volleyball.
That's for sure. We have been treated to a great match so far that could go the distance. That service error does not help that specific cause as BYU cuts it back to within 1. Lulu Uluave to serve. Right side, it's Stulkin. Dug back over the net. Bashir. Good dig by Uluave. Davis has to two-hand it over. Stulkin again. Good dig by Mortensen. Great rally. Kelly, that's down. Big point for Cal Poly.
And it's definitely a point that they need, especially with that close service error earlier. We'll take a look at that point again. Just the wind up and slam down from Kelly.
Charlotte Kelly, the 6'3" true freshman, was able to be honored with a 2025 All-Big West honorable mention on a team that has had so much recognition this year in the Big West Conference, and they are fighting to keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive in this fourth set. They're up by 2 in this timeout.
And if you're Cal Poly, you really want to watch the game from the service line. They had 4 service errors apiece in set 1 and set 2. Was able to hold it to only 1 service error in that set 3, but here in set 4, already 5. And so to be putting up 5 service errors while maintaining your lead, if you can just clean that up, you're sending it to a 5th set.
And to bring it back to our conversation, a great conversation with Caroline Walters earlier in the week, she just said there's just a lot of gratitude and pride with what they've accomplished this year. Remember, they last appeared in the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship in 2019. I believe that was her first year at the helm of Cal Poly. And she said nothing has really changed in the foundation of who they recruit. It is blue-collar, chip-on-their-shoulder type of players. We are seeing that here tonight, and Cal Poly is on their way to trying to push this match to a 5th and final.
And part of that could be due to Walter's excellent coaching. I mean, she's in her 17th year with the program as a whole, knows this team inside and out, and if there's anyone who can take this team to a 5th set and a possible win, it would be her.
Ella Scott in to serve. Out of system is BYU. They've got a 2-handed over. Oh, player down. That is Claire Little Chambers, having to sprint in to try and get the ball over. And the worst thing to see, especially in the postseason, an injury right now.
It was one of those injuries that was almost overlooked in the style of play that was going on so far, but Little Chambers still on the ground, and this would be a critical piece for this BY team to lose. 14 kills so far on 29 attacks. That's hitting 4-4-8. She is on 2 feet, but is coming off the court to the sideline, wincing in pain with each step.
The junior from Temecula, turning to California for this tournament match, has worked so hard to be that top outside hitter option after Sully Davis, and has done such a great job of it. Second team All Big 12 selection this year, has certainly earned that. She was in the back row, so Heather Olmsted opts to go with a defensive specialist, a back row player in Kaylee Tingy. 5'8" true freshman in to pass this serve. That is down for BYU. Cal Poly wants a net violation called, and they're going to challenge.
But what an entry for Tingy to be able to try and get that point in that way.
Cal Poly is challenging that there was a net fault.
Looking for a net violation, certainly on the over on 2, the dump. Alex Bauer went with the left hand. Sometimes in this situation it can be the ball, but is it the hand?
And
it
seems
looks
the
to be.
Decision is
The
made.
call is reversed. There's a net fault. Cal Poly retains their challenge.
Net violation on BYU. Cal Poly gets the point, a big swing as they're now up 23, serving 20.
BYU trying to get back into this 4th set to take it away with the win.
Service ace. And Cal Poly's at set point.
It's almost as if Cal Poly heard me about minimizing those service errors, going in with an ace, and what an opportune moment to have that ace.
Ella Scott, the serving specialist, doing just that. And it is set point in set 4. Sully Davis, off the block, kept alive. Lelouge, that's down. Let's go Cinco. All tied up at 2 sets apiece. 25-20. Cal Poly wins the 4th set. We will go to a 5th and final on ESPN Plus with the Mustangs and the Cougars in a back and forth battle. What we expected, what we wanted. Let's go to a 5th set after this. Back inside Galen Setter, we're getting set for set number 5. And for more on this matchup, we have Pickle Coleman. Pickle?
Thanks, guys. Cal Poly came back to bring back the back and forth nature of this match. Claire Little Chambers unfortunately went down toward the end of the last set. She was taken out and replaced with Kaylee Tingy, and Cal Poly was able to claim this one. We are now moving into a 5th set. We have an injury on the BYU side. Cal Poly is bringing some firepower now. It is anyone's match at this point. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Pickle, and we welcome you back here on ESPN Plus. Matt Brown, McKenna Arteaga, and McKenna, this has been the back and forth affair we kind of expected and truly wanted.
It really is acting like round 1 of the NCAA tournament. Each team just going really point for point, trying to stretch it out as far as they can, both wanting to move forward to the next round. But as Pickle was saying, Kaylee Tingy had to go in for BYU. She is just a freshman coming into this game. She had a dig and an assist to her name, but not to fret. Her family has a lot of experience playing volleyball at Utah. Her mom and aunt both played there, and before she was able to come to college, she was a 3-time AVCA Phenom Watch List, as well as 2024 All-State First Team.
So Tingy is starting this 5th set as we look at BYU coming out onto the floor. Right there in the middle of the screen with the number 3 on her jersey, of course, Sully Davis, leading BYU offensively as expected. But how much more is on her shoulders going into this 5th set? Remember, it is 1st to 15. Each coach has got an additional challenge back to their side. Tingy, as we mentioned, will start this 5th set, but she is more of a back row player. So when she rotates to the front row, who will take over? That may be the next question. As Emmy Bullis is ready to get us going.
I think you're right with there being more pressure on Sully Davis in this 5th set. Claire Little Chambers, 3rd highest kills on the count today, 14, and so to have that out is really unfortunate for BYU.
Big service ace from Bullis to start this 5th. Bullis passing so many great names on the career assist list at Cal Poly as Brielle Kemavor gets dug up by Bullis. Frederick into the double block and down.
Bullis leading all assists at 48 so far. Back to BYU with our current dig leader in Uluave at 19.
Good serve from Uluave. Right side, it's Stolkin. Blocked, back, and down.
BYU trying to come out here with that firepower they started to gain in the end of that 4th set. What a block there, something that they've kind of been lacking all match so far. 5 blocks to Cal Poly's 10.
Yeah, Elena Wallace a little late getting there, but still used that shuffle to perfection as Emma Frederick able to put one away, and back and forth we go in the 5th.
And once again, we have yet another set going back and forth for each point, and that's kind of been the testimony to this whole match, is just back and forth between these offenses.
We mentioned earlier that it is fire versus fire, although that time it's the Cal Poly block coming into play, a big Roof.
Yeah, Roof is right, Matt. I mean, that Cal Poly block has been so strong all night. Like I mentioned previous, 10 blocks so far, making that 11.
Over on 2, that is kept in play. Cal Poly with Annabelle Falcon having to tip it over. Pancake saved by BYU. Sully Davis off the double block. Falcon again, that's down. I think we're going to get a challenge, though, from BYU's side.
And Olmsted is signaling 2, in fact, challenge. We'll hear from the ref.
BYU is challenging that there's an unsuccessful pancake attempt.
So remember, the tip went into the middle of the court during the middle of that rally on Cal Poly's side. It was kept alive for that moment, but BYU certainly thought it touched the floor. Remember, any part of that volleyball touching the floor, that is a point for BYU. Let's see if we have a good look at it. This is BYU's pancake save. I think they're challenging right before that. Cal Poly had a different pancake save. I think it was the attack attempt right before that part of the replay. But this certainly a huge point and a huge decision to be made.
All of these challenges have really come in important times. We'll try and take a look at it here. Hard to be able to tell in that angle. We'll leave it up to the ref to decide, and it seems he has his decision.
After review, the call is reversed. The ball was down. BYU retains their challenge.
So ball down, call reversed, point reverse, and a big one for BYU. Instead of a 2-point lead for Cal Poly, we are tied at 3.
And this is the type of momentum stopper you want if you're BYU. Cal Poly was on an almost 3-0 scoring run with BYU able to put a stop to it.
That one off the block and out of bounds for Kendall Bashir.
Bashir once again coming in when it counts most. She's almost at double digits in the kill section. 12 digs so far, hitting 356.
Outside it goes, Sully Davis blocked and roofed.
That Cal Poly block just really being undeniable here as we've gotten later into the match. Really, we've seen it all game, but once again, it is coming up at point after point of important times. That brings it to the 12th block of the night.
That's down. And the right side tip from Sophia Callahan works for BYU.
Callahan, someone who's been a little hot and cold tonight. 10 kills so far and 22 total attacks. Been really efficient as of late.
I think we're seeing the adjustment by BYU in the front row now. Remember, Claire Little Chambers is out with injury, so now the front row hitter is Ellie Mortensen. Looks like she's going 6 rotations, and it was Tingy in for the back row of the right side hitter in Sophia Callahan. So just some little adjustments on BYU's side, and this time Annabelle Falcon was able to work it off the block. Another Cal Poly point. Claire Little Chambers, while I was speaking about that, re-entered the game. And it doesn't matter to Cal Poly for now. That one's worked off the block and out.
Always good to see a player who has gone down like that be able to re-enter with hopeful, not as much pain as she had when she went down, obviously medically cleared to play.
Oh, a foot fault on the serve. Don't see that too often this late in the season, but it does happen as BYU with a big side out, a break caught, and Hannah Billiter will go back to serve.
Yeah, definitely not something you see this late in the season or in NCAA play as well. Not something that either of these teams want to be doing.
How about a service ace? That is what BYU wants to be doing. And Hannah Billiter.
We'll take another look at that windup and being able to get that ace. Cal Poly not able to receive the ball there.
Ace number 4 in the match for BYU as that one is down over on 2. Picking her spot, Emmy Bullis. Cal Poly hits 8 first in this first to 15. We switch sides.
And really, both these teams have been fighting so hard for each and every point. It's something that we've talked about all night, but it's something we've seen to be so true. Each and every point just really being able to be played out, and we've seen both teams be able to thrive in those longer rallies as well.
The Mustang Band in attendance, making their noise with their instruments as Cal Poly goes into this side switch up by 2. And I think there was a timeout called as well. So either way, 2-point lead for Cal Poly.
And this is not unlike what we saw for Cal Poly to be able to take away in the 4th set. BYU able to come before 5 points in that 4th, but Cal Poly able to really kind of use that lead and extend it as well.
Again, we're here in the first round of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, and the bracket has started to fill out as the day has gone on. Remember, we're in that Kentucky quadrant. Whoever moves on after this second round will meet up with that Kentucky-UCLA matchup that has just been confirmed. Kentucky taking care of Wofford and UCLA beating Georgia Tech. That match went to 5 sets, just like this one is going to right now between BYU and Cal Poly. Don't forget, and I know we kind of updated that time. I like it up there on that graphic. We'll see when this match ends, 30 minutes after or thereabouts. We'll have USC and Princeton.
But that UCLA-Georgia Tech game was really close, with that first set actually going to extra points. Georgia Tech taking it 26-24. UCLA responding with a win of the second and then winning the 4th and 5th sets to take that match.
Kendall Bashir, jump spin serve. And it gets BYU well out of system for a free ball opportunity. Emma Frederick puts Cal Poly up by 3.
And Emma Frederick's swing has been something we've been able to hear all match. Really, the way she's able to not only slam the ball with her hand, but make that kiss the floor, it has been loud in here.
Timeout called by BYU. 3-point lead for Cal Poly in this first to 15, 5th and final set. This first round matchup that has been a doozy, that's for sure. Cal Poly has been able to kind of fight their way through this match, the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations, and they've been able to keep that hitting percentage up over 300 all night. They're hitting .323 for the match. As we are down the stretch of this one, remember it's USC and Princeton about 30 minutes after this one concludes.
And that'll be yet another tough matchup in Galen Center. We've seen how tough this one has been. USC been one of the top leaders in blocks for the Big Ten. They ended their season as official #1 in that blocking area, and Princeton being able to take away the Ivy League championship as well.
It's been so fun to have all 4 of these teams compete inside Galen. And the atmosphere has just grown as the night has gone on. Cal Poly's fan base certainly feels it. BYU's fan base trying to egg their team on. with a lot of bumps and bruises to be had in this matchup, and BYU's trying to fight through them all. Doesn't matter to Kendall Bashir, the dynamic server with a service ace.
I mean, not a lot of people are able to get a service ace on Suli Davis like that, and Bashir is just so hyped after the fact. We saw that celebration with her team, and she is just so excited to be able to get a point for her squad.
9 service aces over the last 4 matches coming into this one, and now with the service ace in that previous rally, BYU kind of thought there might have been a touch off that Cal Poly block, but no challenge, and the Mustangs extend their lead to 5. Tight to the net, in fact, over. Lelouch tried to put it down, a free ball opportunity anyway for Cal Poly. Outside it goes Frederick, just a little over her outstretched arm, and BYU takes the point.
Little miscommunication from the Mustangs there, but they're still clapping with each other, trying to let that 1 point go.
Heather Olmstead putting a lot of encouragement into her squad right now, though that one went too long. Cal Poly 3 points away from advancing to the second round. That will be tomorrow night.
And servers have plagued both teams all night. 15 for Cal Poly against BYU's 10, but hasn't been enough to slow down that Cal Poly offense.
BYU just called their second and final timeout of this 5th set. We'll take a short break here on ESPN Plus. Back for the conclusion of this 5th set between BYU and Cal Poly after this. The 18th NCAA tournament appearance for Cal Poly, as they're looking for a second round appearance, much like their last back in 2019, but they have to go past BYU, who is in their 38th NCAA tournament appearance, and they have been 25-6 in the first round all time. The Mustangs trying to add to that latter half of the record, and it's Marin O'Farrell back to serve out of the timeout.
And the big difference changer in this 5th set has been the attacking percentage. 400 for Cal Poly, and BYU's in negative numbers right now.
That will help it a little bit. Brielle Kemavor with a much-needed kill.
Kemavor, another name who we've said all night, really coming into those opportune moments for her team. 15 on 30 total attacks.
Frederick off the block, kept alive, over the net, blocked back. Free ball opportunity for the Cougars. Kemavor misses wide.
And we just heard Falcon screaming, "Let's go," as she went to go in at the front of the net.
So Falcon re-enters in the front row. That means it's Emmy Bullis back to serve for Cal Poly, who's been as consistent of a server for them throughout this match. Suli Davis off the block and out of bounds. That's what BYU needed.
And we've seen BYU put up a good fight in situations like this when they are down, so don't count them out quite yet.
Lulu Luave. Good serve, now Cal Poly. Blocked back. Frederick. Shot goes long. BYU with a big natural point.
And we've seen Frederick really be able to kind of taper that ball to be able to get into the corner. Couldn't make it happen there, but that's the kind of risk you have to take when you have such a strong hit like that.
Cal Poly 2 points away from advancing, but BYU is closing in. 3 points away from tying it are the Cougars going into this Cal Poly timeout. Of course, both coaches know how competitive the other side can be down the stretch. You don't get to this part of the season if you're not able to close out sets, and this is the ultimate closeout needed for either side.
And that's something that both head coaches spoke to when speaking with us earlier, is they both knew how strong the opposite team was playing coming into this tournament. And so something that we've really seen from both of them is the strengths coming out. Errors have been a bit of a weakness. 14 attack errors and 15 service errors for Cal Poly against BYU's 21 attack errors to 10 service errors. So almost even on the attacking front there.
306 hitting percentage in the match as a whole for Cal Poly. 256 for BYU. Of course, down the stretch here in the fifth set, at this point, you could say stats can be thrown out. It's just about trying to fight your way through. With Cal Poly up by 3 coming out of this timeout, Lulu Uluave back to serve for BYU.
The fight is right, and it's so hard when both teams want it so much to not make those types of service errors that come from that aggression.
Right side, it's Tolkien. Big swing as we get to match point for Cal Poly.
And what a story it's been for Cal Poly, really coming back. We saw them look dominant in that first set, kind of fell a little bit short in that second and third, but it's been all Cal Poly in those bigger points.
Emma Frederick serves match point, and an ace! The Mustangs upset the 5 seed, and they're moving on to the second round.
What a moment for the Mustangs, being able to have a service ace to end it. 7 service aces on the night, and what a win for Cal Poly.
Caroline Walters sees a matchup that is similar to the last time they were in the postseason. In 2019, they beat Georgia in 5 sets. This, another 5-set thriller in the first round. Cal Poly victorious. Do want to congratulate BYU on another strong season. Again, it's a Cougar program that has been so strong throughout the years, especially under Heather Olmsted.
Absolutely, Matt. I think we saw a great performance from both teams here tonight, and it truly was a hard-fought win for Cal Poly. BYU certainly put up a really good attack effort, and you know, it's a reason why the NCAA tournament is so competitive. I mean, we've seen that with these 2 early 5-setters.
Let's take a look back at the moment of the game. And in this match, it was a lot of Kendall Bashir. We knew about how great her serve can be, and she certainly got on a run in this 5th set.
I mean, Kendall Bashir was so incredible from that service line. 2 service aces as well as 20 total kills for 47 attacks, 12 digs. What an all-around player for Bashir.
Cal Poly able to take set number 5, 15-10, as they have just been able to fight through such big matches and big moments. None bigger than this first round matchup in the NCAA tournament against BYU. As we were just talking about how Kendall Bashir was able to take over in that 5th set, and Pickle Coleman has Kendall Bashir for an interview.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Kendall Bashir. What a back and forth matchup, but came back to win it when it mattered most. What was working well for you guys tonight?
I think our grit. I think we just, coming out of the third, we lost. We looked at each other like, it's all or nothing right now. It's now or never. And we trusted each other, and we balled out, and we just had relentless defense, and I think that's what changed the game for us.
The crowd erupted after your service ace to get to 10 in that 5th set. Can you walk me through what was going on in your head in that moment?
Yeah, obviously in the beginning of the match, my serve isn't really going. Jason and I have been working on that serve for a while this season, and after the timeout, he looked at me, he goes, you just jump up to that ball and take a crack at it, and that's exactly what I did. So I guess that was going through my head.
How do you carry this momentum into the next match against either Princeton or USC?
I think this momentum is it's all on ourselves, right? We came out, had relentless defense. I think just carrying that momentum of defense and relentlessness and grit, I think that's whoever we face next, like, they're going to have to work to put a ball down against us, yeah.
Thank you so much and congrats.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thanks,
to
guys.
Kendall Bashir.
Back to you.
Thank you, Pickle, and Kendall Bashir able to lead Cal Poly to a big first-round victory. They will play tomorrow night here inside Galen Center against the winner of this upcoming matchup, USC and Princeton. That will happen in about 30 minutes. For McKenna Arteaga and our great ESPN Plus crew, I'm Matt Brown saying so long for now from Los Angeles. Tune in about 30 minutes for number 4 seed USC and Princeton. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Until, well, maybe about 30 minutes from now. We'll see you later.